Guys, so to get a final night of the week kicked off here between Reason and Lion, let's get into it. Best out of three as always. Gonna be a lot of fun between these two teams. Again, a rematch of the show match between these two teams where Reason Gaming upset Team Lion 2-1. So I'm sure Lion has that in the back of their mind. Of course, this isn't the same Lion team. We got to definitely point that out. Obviously, they're playing with Era now, who wasn't with them with the show match, I believe, for that in the first week. So, but now he's with them, and Lion is coming off a 2-0 victory, as I mentioned, over Online Kingdom last week. So I got to feel like pretty confident for them, but at the same time, Reason Gaming, who knows what Reason team we're going to see tonight.
Right. I mean, we might see the first pick Glacius Reason. We might see, a good Reason. So not to harp on them too much. I mean, again, it's rough, especially because we always talk about how it seems like they're a team that has been kind of reluctant to adjust or just has been unable to. Whatever the reason is, they haven't really clicked since the first week, and they're coming off of a 2-0 loss to Complexity last week, and as you mentioned, Lion coming off actually 2-1 victory over, or a 2-0 victory, over Online Kingdom. Yeah. So you're just talking about the momentum there, but we'll see what happens here. I mean, Reason, again, it's a team that when we invited them to the league, we didn't know what to expect. They came out swinging, with a couple of nice wins in a row, and so it's kind of a box of chocolates thing, as Forrest Gump might say, where you never know what you're going to get with Reason. And hopefully we get the fun and an exciting, crazy Reason who takes it to Lions, at least forcing some pretty interesting, exciting games.
Well, I will say, when it comes to, that excitement factor from Reason, that's the thing. I know you're kind of, making fun of it to an extent, kind of bringing up whatever with the whole Glacius first pick. But again, on a serious note, this is one of the few teams on the competitive scene where it doesn't seem like they have that drafter for the team. They don't have that guy that, although it's fine to come together as a team, try to decide on what you're going to pick up, but they don't have that one guy that says every single time, all right, this is what we're going to go with and this is what we're playing. It just doesn't seem like it works out that way, and it definitely has shown with their picking stage in general. Now, I will say, speaking of that excitement factor, a hero that they have ran a couple of times, and it has been pretty successful for them. In fact, I believe in the MSI series they ran it as well. Emerald Warden, right? A hero that we never see on the competitive scene other than Southeast Asia, I believe, when we covered the event over there several months back now. But seeing it from Reason Gaming proved to be a pretty effective pickup for them, and definitely has bode well for them. So we'll see if we get something like that from them tonight, or, again, the latter. I mean, you never know. But the banning stage is actually just wrapped up right there. So as we always do, let's go ahead and jump over the bans. We are looking at Corrupted Disciple, Valkyrie, Ophelia, Hellbringer, Plague Rider, Torturer, Tempest, and Kraken. Valkyrie, that's the one that definitely stands out to me, obviously, when you look at these bans. Not really a ban-worthy hero. Yiftig does have a very solid history of playing that hero. But honestly, I don't know if it's actually ban-worthy anymore against a player like Yiftig. I mean, yes, he's very good with it. And, in fact, I'm going to scroll over his percentage right now. What is it at right? Yeah, 23%. I mean, he plays it all the time. That's pretty obvious. And he is very successful with it. But I don't know if it is worth a ban-over hero like that Nymphora first pick, who else is on the board that we got? I mean, you still got Pharaoh, obviously. Very, very powerful pickup. So.
Hell, even Emerald Warden is still on the board. So, I mean, it's a hero that they, even though it's, it's not the crazy strongest hero out there, it's a hero that they've had a lot of success with. So, as far as the bans are concerned, it's like you were saying, Valkyrie really the only one that I guess kind of stands out to me, and I don't even know that it's even ban worthy because we've seen Yiftig run it, and I mean they've been basically 2-0'd in the last 2 matches that they've had. And I'm pretty sure he's played Valkyrie in at least 2 of those matches and just hasn't really had much success with it. So, I don't know. I don't know that it was worth it, but we'll see. So, you mentioned Nymphora being picked up first. It's a little bit risky leaving her on the board. And Tundra, however, I don't know. Between those two heroes, who do you think really is the more important hero?
if you're confident in playing Tundra, taking advantage of that Shiver, because, again, we stress that all the time, as powerful as it is, it's not the easiest thing to upkeep on. I mean, you have to constantly keep using it, constantly microing it to put it in the right spots. If you're comfortable with that, and honestly most competitive teams, if not all competitive teams, should be, then I think Tundra is the better first pick. But, you know, with that said, Nymphora, she is a very strong first pick herself. So that's not a Glacius first pick by any means. So I'm not going to harp on Reason Gaming for picking up Nymphora over a Tundra. I still think the Nymphora pick very, very solid. It just so happened to leave open that Tundra, of course. Now, going back to the banning stage, you know, that's where you kind of actually, no, that wasn't even their ban, so never mind. I'm all over the place. Anyways, but Tundra, Pebble, so those are the first two pickups for Lion right there. Now, there we go. I mean, the Magnus Emerald Warden follow-up from Reason. So sure enough, they do go with the Emerald Warden. I do question it a little bit with the Emerald Warden pickup being the third pick because, again, Emerald Warden, they're the only team to play here so far, and I don't think Lion is going to necessarily pick her up. So it is one of those you can feel confident waiting for the last two picks to get her, and instead you could have gone somebody, you know, perhaps that you would have liked. I mean, obviously, you see Lion, they followed up with Parasite Master of Arms. I don't know if Reason would have gone for either of those, but, you know, it's definitely something to think about. But speaking of that for Lion, you know, very good follow-up pickups for them. And, man, oh, man, Lion looking like to pick a – they're going all out aggression. And when you got a hero like Tundra, you know, it makes a lot of sense for that.
Yeah, I'm willing to see – or I'm waiting to see what Reason decides to do here because they definitely have some pretty strong lanes if they decide to do similar to what a team like well, especially like Trademark, what Trademark does, you know, when they run like the Nymphora Magnus combo, Online Kingdom kind of brought that into the forefront in their match in the Super Series in Game 3 against Fnatic and Masai. But Magnus Nymphora, very, very powerful combination between the two, especially once Magnus hits level 6, and you can be sure to get the Eruption off standing right next to the hero. It can be very, very devastating, but we'll see what they decide to end up with. They do, I think, have perhaps a little bit better in laning phase than Lion will, simply because Parasite, again, he's not a hero that's completely nerfed by roaming, like a lot of other heroes possibly can be. So Aluna and Electrician. Now, Aluna, we haven't seen a whole lot of Aluna recently in the competitive scene, but Electrician we have seen a ton of. I mean, including the final game last night. You know, I'm not going to get off that. But, you know, he can be very, very, very solid tank / semi-carry, and we'll see how well they utilize him. So, overall, I really like Reason's lineup. The Aluna pick, it is a little bit odd, simply because, like I said, we just don't see it too often. Yeah. But she does very, very powerful in the laning phase, especially in the mid-game.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think she's definitely a solid carry, you know, kind of that semi-carry, mid-game carry to have, you know, with the likes of Emerald Warden as well. They can definitely kind of work off of one another. And as you mentioned, just a very good laning hero, very, very, very good laning hero. So, although odd, I'm not going to, you know, harp on it too much as it being a bad pick necessarily. But now the question is how they're going to go about the laning phase. Obviously, they know they're going up against a jungle pair. Well, I say obviously, but after last night, again, speaking of last night with the whole fly going laning Parasite, who knows what we're going to see, but something tells me we're going to see a jungle Parasite here from Team Lion. So usually with that said, you want to go the 2-2-1 strategy, and, you know, how they decide to go about it, we'll have to wait and see. My guess is that we're going to see, well, it's either going to be Emerald or Aluna solo. Now, Stringbee's playing that Aluna, Yiftig's on Emerald. I would say Yiftig usually plays more of the solo role than Stringbee. So with that said, I would guess that the Emerald Warden is going to be solo, and it looks like currently that's how it is going to play out, although they aren't moving yet, so I guess we'll have to wait and see ultimately. I mean, they are using the courier to spot things, so maybe they're going to make some adjustments depending on what they see. But for now, Emerald Warden is heading bottom, and I believe the plan is to have her solo bottom, and yes, we got Nymphora Luna going top with Magnus, actually. So Electrician right now hunting solo middle. It would be really something if they decide to go with a tri-lane, trying to bring that back once again. But, you know, could very likely make the adjustment early on.
I mean, the issue is that we were talking about the effectiveness of an Nymphora and Magnus lane, but they're not even going to go that route. You know, they're not even going to go the route of even trying out the combination. It's more or less Magnus is going to serve as a secondary support, which obviously we see Humps play a lot of secondary support initiator role. But he's probably just going to hang around here, maybe do some roaming as well. And they're not even going to take advantage of – well, I guess they could take advantage of the combination of having a triple stun, running a tri-lane. But, again, the tri-lane is so gone at this point. I would really rather see, when they're running this lineup, as much as I don't like it, I would really prefer to see them send Electrician to the top and then have probably Magnus Aluna go to the middle lane, and then Nymphora and Emerald Warden down at the bottom, at least initially, to try to keep Tundra from getting the early levels in farm. But we'll see if they make any kind of adjustments here.
Well, you know, just the trial in general, just not a huge fan of it ever since the shift. It just, I don't know, I think you take a lot away from it now, because especially you're going up against a jungle strategy, so what makes the most sense is to lock down both of the solos, in this case that Tundra and that Master of Arms,
exactly,
like you're talking about. And instead they're matching up 3 versus 2 up top here. Now they're going for a Bloodlust Cone of Pebbles, so it may work out or not. Actually, Stalagmite's going to be used, and Pebbles will be able to get away in the end, so good surviving for him. We see a vote to pause, but good old
strategy pause.
Replay. There we go. We skip right through it. So, but yeah. So that in that sense, I'm a little bit, you know, on far as reason goes, you know, maybe they didn't expect the Pebbles Glacius top. I wouldn't be surprised at that. So, do they make the adjustment though? I mean, so far it doesn't look like they're too interested, and they're pretty committed to staying up here. And you know, with this said, this will nerf the levels of both Magnus, especially Nymphora, who's going to be hanging off to the side and not really getting any leeching any experience at all. And, you know, if she delays getting her level 6, that's going to be really unfortunate for her. Electrician, in the meantime, getting locked down in the middle lane. Bloodlust Cone perhaps coming out here now. The Electric Shield barely keeping Eris Loco alive. And it looks like it will be enough as he activates the health potion at the last second to regen right back up. So this Parasite trying to do his best, playing that roaming Parasite in front of the jungle. Coming in, not enough for the kill, though. And, well, we've had a bit of action so far, but still no Bloodlust Cone coming out. Now, let's finish, you know, talking about Lions lineup overall. We haven't really done that yet. So they started with Master of Arms, which we talked about. So Master of Arms, Tundra, Glacius, Pebbles, and Parasite. So them two, as they completed, you know, the Glacius was the final pick. That's just a great support to have, obviously, with the Pebbles. Ideally, you wanted him for, but obviously he was already picking up by Reason. So Glacius definitely one of the heroes next in line for that. Yeah, aggression lineup over here for Team Lions. I'm expecting a lot of action from them.
Yeah, I'm kind of expecting Parasite to try to help and support this top lane. He's just kind of looking around for a decent creep to do so.
Oh, nice hero blocking, by the way, by S4 right here. He buys time for Master of Arms to come in with the Fork Lightning. Not going to get any kills by any means, but very good pressure initially.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Oh, no problem. Like I said, I would like to see Parasite come in here and try to support this top and kind of make it, you know, a try versus try lane, even though it's not like definitely like, oh, this is the crazy try versus try that we always see. But for sure, you know, they have some capabilities here if they can get solid initiation on Nymphora. If Schizo can get a really nice creep, we could definitely see something happen. But either way, it's going to be probably a relatively passive early game from both these teams. I expect Reason to try to have some sort of initiation, but I mean, again, it's one of those things where they really don't have the super duper aggressive team makeup for it, and because it's not try versus try, nobody, I don't expect anyone online to try to get themselves out of position to try to force a kill. So if anything, it'll probably happen in one of these solo lanes unless Parasite decides to come down once again and try to gank the mid.
I mean, you see Emerald Warden down here just really taking advantage of those traps. Has 2 lined up right here off to the side. So if Parasite does happen to try to set up a gank from that angle, obviously it's going to be very difficult for him. So again, that's definitely one of the reasons why Emerald Warden is such an annoying hero to play against. Speaking of it, and that's another reason right there, using the silencing shot after using the Hunter's command initially, but the silencing shot after to get the Bloodlust kill. So Yiftig off to a good start here for Team Reason in that sense, as well played on a Tundra, but that Hunter's command, man, I mean, it just does so much damage, and the fact that you literally can't avoid it. It's going to happen even if you're not even in vision. Obviously, you don't need to aim it. Just press the button, and it'll go after them no matter where they are as long as they're in range of it. So, yeah, Tundra, in that sense, kind of having a difficult time. And Iftig playing it very well. But now, speaking of Tundra, again, he's looking to come around the side, but here we go. There's one trap going off. There's the other trap, but he runs over it, actually, with the charge, so he is going to be fine from that. However, the pet, nope, he doesn't get credit for the pet kill because it died before that top lane. In the meantime, though, Aluna actually gets picked off. The Minotaur coming in from Parasite is going to control. Pebbles now looking to follow this up. He has a chuck. He's going to chuck Parasite on top of Magnus. The leech has already been used. A couple more auto attacks to get the job done. Trying to use the mana right there from Nymphora for the speed burst, but could not get it off. The auto attack happened, so took it off immediately. And double tap kill coming up for Skizzo up there at the top lane, playing that Parasite. So good job setting up that gank, as you mentioned.
Yeah. Like I said, I think as far as Lion is concerned, it really is going to basically come down to him getting involved in the top lane if they want to get kills up there. But you know, Iftig is doing a good job at the bottom lane, so not to take anything away from him. Oh wow, power throw almost taking out Pebbles as he actually uses the mana battery at the very last second to just regenerate some health. And we'll see if Aluna attempts to. Maybe. I think he might be a little bit out of range, just barely. Yeah, I mean, you saw him like looking at least for him, but unfortunately not able to find him. And Glacius comes back in, and of course has a health pot for Pebbles. So they're not in a bad situation whatsoever. You see Catman Champion kind of like hanging around here, perhaps looking for at least some sort of avenue to initiate. They do have this Ward of Sight, but it barely cannot see the camp, so they have no idea, although he's going to have to, you know, eat this Catman Champion. And that's what we talk about. You know, he's one of those heroes where he just overall is not that affected by roaming and just by moving around. And the other great thing is that you can kill your own neutral creep, and especially if it's like a heavy or high experience creep, like the Catman Champion, you can eat it next to your own teammates and get some experience. Yeah. Give them some experience as well. So down in the middle lane, we see Leech going out from onto Electrician. Electrician in a little bit of trouble. Body blocking from Skizzo. He's trying to come in, and yes, he will eventually fall with My Nuts picking up the kill there. Meanwhile, at the top lane, a little bit of push going on from them as Luna was taking some tower damage, so she goes ahead and backs off. But I mean, I don't know, in general, I feel like Lion is in a pretty good situation. Era, he's not getting the greatest farm, however, on this Pebbles, only 180 gold per minute. Meanwhile, you take a look at Yiftig on that Emerald Warden at 340 gold per minute, so she's at least 100 gold per minute above anybody else on the Hellborn team. So overall, it's not a bad start for Reason. And if they can keep, just kind of keep...
Well, this is going to worsen it a little bit as Iftig in a lot of trouble right here. Again, Parasite playing a very active role. Charges in with the Vulture Lord, throws in some auto attacks, setting up the Avalanche from S4 in that Tundra, and eventually follows it up with a kill. So well played right there and taking out the Emerald Warden. You just got finished talking about how far ahead she is in this game early on, but a kill slowing her down quite a bit. She's now dropped all the way down to 300 GPM and even falling below that while she remains dead. So, yeah, Parasite proving to be a very impactful pick so far here for Lion. Has had that impact at the top lane. He's now 2-0-2 to start off this game, and now Skeleton King taking over. He may very likely look to set something up here in the middle lane with Master of Arms eventually, who's now making his way back currently with the Haste Rune bottled up. Of course, Electrician, though, very, very beefy, so very difficult to take him out. But Skeleton King is going to go in right here. There's a trap coming out. The Fork Lightning going to be used any charge shot. There's a charge shot for the stun. The Leech and the auto attack for the finish as Parasite once again gets credit for the kill. 3-0-2 score for him now. So again, Parasite proving to be a big difference maker this early game so far. As Magnus stunts in at the top lane. Now Arrow's in a little bit of trouble. The third stun coming out, but he's returning and says, I'm going to bring it back at you. Anyways, he takes out Magnus. Pebbles falling back now into the jungle, activating the health potion. The power, no, it's not going to hit with the power shot right there. And now Aluna in a lot of trouble. Can she get the kill? No, she cannot. Pebbles gets credit for it, and now turning around onto Nymphora. I believe he also got the Blood Chalice seal as a result of getting that kill. A nice stalagmite right there, setting up for the kill for Glacius as Fitske gets the double tap. Wow, what a turnaround at the top lane. 3 versus 2, and it ends up being the 3-man team dies with no one dying on the 2-man team. They didn't even have support there. That was just Pebbles and Glacius playing phenomenal.
Yeah, a great job by Pebbles avoiding line of sight to get at least some of the heal off from the power throw, and then moving to the side barely to avoid the power throw that he knew was going to come. And really, you know, he used the Blood Chalice there at the last second, was able to get the combo off, picked up the kill, picked up the health. Restore from getting the kill within the time frame. I believe there's a 10-second or it's 15 seconds. 15 seconds after you use it, if a hero is killed within a 700 radius, you gain back the 150 health cost that it costs to use the Blood Chalice. So overall, I mean, a really, really nice chain of events there for Team Lion, and they continue to dominate. After starting off losing the Bloodlust kill, they've come back. They're now 8-0, so 8 hero kills with no response from this from this Legion team. You have to wonder, when do they start getting involved? Tundra, he uses the Shiver to initiate on Emerald Warden. Nice stun in there from Magnus, but will it be enough? I don't think so. Emerald Warden does eventually fall, and in comes Pebbles, finishing off Magnus as well. Looks like S4 picked up the kill for that one on Tundra. But overall, Lions, they're just playing better. Overall, they're just playing better, and it kind of, again, it makes you go back to the picking stage. Aluna at the end. She's a strong hero, but it kind of messes up the synergy of the lanes, in my opinion. It messes up where, like, what are you going to do? How are you going to support? And the fact of the matter is when you run the tri-lane, yes, kind of like you were talking about, you want to focus, you want to make it a 2-versus-1 situation if they're running the jungle. Yeah. You know, when you run the tri-lane, I mean, yeah, I guess like you have a better situation or better time perhaps getting your solo hero some farm, in this case being Aluna, but even now that hasn't been the case. So and you're allowing it to be 1-versus-1, and Tundra, even despite being bloodlusted, Tundra is going to, I think, have a decent time against an Emerald Warden, just because he's a lot tankier. You know, he's got the, and with the addition of the health regeneration that, you know, happened with the balance patch those weeks ago, it's harder to harass him out of the lane regardless of what you have as Emerald Warden.
Yeah, and we see, speaking of Emerald Warden, she ran into Tundra right there, but Tundra falls back himself and not going to look to do any follow-up, at least in the meantime. Going to use a Courier right here now to harass Emerald Warden while he runs towards middle to set something up in here. You got Electrician. He has a regen rune activated, so going to get some full mana pool, but the Shiver is spotting them coming over, so the Hellborn team very aware of where they're at right now. Master of Arms, he's in the middle lane, of course. But they choose not to initiate because just the angle was pretty messed up with the river being there and the ledge and everything. So didn't want to risk it. Electrician, though, diving in. Never mind. I thought he was going to static gripper crazy like that, but decides to just do the energy absorption, get some creep farm, and fall back. But yeah, I mean, you talked about this top lane, and yeah, if you're going to run a tri-lane, you know, okay, you get it. At least you get the good farm on the tri-lane hero that you're focusing on, as well as locking down whoever you're going up against. Neither of those were accomplished. Aluna's farm is nothing impressive at all, at only at 210 gold per minute with the 2 deaths. And S4 on Pebbles, his farm's at 255, 1-0-6.
Era on Pebbles, by the way.
Did I say S4? Okay, so Era on Pebbles, 29-7 creep farm, 1-0-6 hero kill farm at the, as I said, the 256 gold per minute. So
she's not even out farming Glacius. That's the big point that I want to make. Glacius has 214 gold per minute. And Aluna only has 206. So, well, I mean, it is very close, but it's a Glacius. Yeah. The other thing, nobody below 200 gold per minute over on the Hellborn team. Meanwhile, you have 2 players at 50 gold per minute on the Legion team, and the other 2 that are barely over 200 gold per minute. So
middle lane in the meantime, Avalanche going out on top of Electrician. This drops shortly after. Emerald Warden in the midst of it, throwing out the wolves, but in comes a face deck from Parasite. Now they're going to chase him down. The minion right here from Tundra, applying the slow to Emerald Warden. There goes a charge shot from Master of Arms, although Schizo did enough damage with the leech to get the kill in the first place. So damage done in the middle lane. They get the middle tower killed as well, and now Lion is moving towards the top lane where Aluna and Nymphoria is still level 4 at this point. She's falling back with Aluna, and so when you're forced to fall back from your first tower at the fear of tower diving, you know you're in a bad position. So a level 11 Master of Arms, level 9 Tundra, they're moving over, as well as a level 7 Glacius, as you mentioned. Its farm is definitely looking pretty good. So the Warded side is down, and now they see them coming back up. Are they going to try to go for a jump here? Well, they're going back and forth. They want to try something, but they're not confident just yet. They may very likely go now, knowing that the creep wave has passed, though. Or they could go on a Magnus down here, who's finding himself fighting the Fell Hunter. In comes a charge shot for the stun. There's a charge from S4 as well. But the damage done from the Tundra Blast from Glacius, still level 1, but still doing enough damage to get the kill. So good job by Fitsuke right there, as well as the rest of the Lion team. So the movement has begun here for Team Lion. It's really been going on the whole game. I guess I shouldn't say it like that, but and it goes to their just aggressive makeup lineup. 13-1 hero kill advantage, a 10.6k gold lead, 9,400 experience lead. That is just getting way too out of hand for this Legion didn't handle. Look at the Shiver being controlled by Parasite right there. He flies on top of Electrician, and now he's going to jump on with the leech auto attack. Master Farms one the charge shot, stunning him in place. In comes the Emerald Warden was, but not nearly enough damage or slow to affect the outcome of that fight. So Electrician dies. Emerald Warden just falls back now up here. Tundra actually running into some trouble, but oh, the Stalagmite's gonna miss though from Pebbles right there. That's unfortunate. Magma stuns him, but do they have enough damage output? I don't think so. Tundra now charging back in. Wants to go to 4, will not get it though. The silencing shot from Emerald Warden will put him down as Pebbles has to retreat at minimal life, or will he look to come back in here? Yes, he has. He chucks Parasite on top of Emerald Warden, but Parasite wants to kill Magnus. Magnus stuns, however, with the Shiver. Again, this Shiver, despite Tundra being dead right now, he's still controlling that. And here we go again, infested by Parasite, making it even faster and giving Parasite that advantage of going and flying and going for some more kills as something else happened. Erudite.
Emerald Red power throw.
Oh, yeah, that helps.
He tanked the tower to make sure he could get the last hit on the tower, which he did do, but in the end, you know, he was just kind of standing there auto-attacking the tower while Aluna was power throwing up to the top lane. So a nice turnaround kill there for Strangby, but I don't know. I mean, the stat lead is so crazy for it being 15 and a half, or actually now 16 minutes into the game. Like, I don't think I've ever seen it be. I've seen gold leads that have been this high because of like push strategies. I've never seen an experience lead where it's been over 10,000 experience lead at 16 minutes into a game. I mean, that is absolutely crazy. So, I mean, a lot of props got to go to Lion there for just moving together as a team and also getting some solid creep farm as well as, you know, farming off the heroes and kind of taking over the jungle as well and doing their thing. As we saw yet another kill happen. And, you know, Humps on Magnus, he is just not having a good time. He 0-6-0, don't even have an assist, 40 gold per minute, 131, that's not even the lowest experience per minute, by the way. That belongs to an N4 who's 0-2-1, 95 experience per minute. So, I don't know, it's not looking very pleasant for Reason. And the fact of the matter is that, I guess, like, they do have a better late game, I think, than Lion does, but I just don't see them ever reaching it.
Glacier's got a portal key.
Well, sometimes you can afford a portal key for Glacier.
Yeah.
When it's an 18-3 hero kill lead at 17 minutes in.
Well, Emerald Warden gets picked off right there. However, Parasite may prove to be deadly for him. I think it is, actually. There we go with the static grip. So, unfortunately for his life, he explodes into the many pieces that is Parasite. And, will die. So, unfortunate there. Oh, wow. Nice use of pathing right there. Tundra charges over the ledge into the minions. And then he's going to jump the middle lane. As a result of the avalanche cancel, there's the second follow-up, though. He wanted to make sure it was accurate. Gets that kill onto Electrician. In the meantime, Arrow on Pebbles, he picked off Hoops right there on Magnus down here at the bottom lane. So they're just going to really keep pressuring now this middle lane, it looks like. And honestly, if you're Reason in this case, I know we say it a lot, you know, it is a competitive match. You know, you can understand if teams want to stay in after all. You know, they're competing for a lot, and they want, if there's any hope, they want to stay in there. But if you're Reason gaming at a point like this, it's just, you might as well move on. It really is just getting ugly. They don't have a chance here as a Luna gets dove on right there. The piercing shards to finish off after the Pebbles combo and auto attack to get her killed. See Emerald Warden running up, placing a trap. I mean, that's good and all, but yeah, it's just looking very ugly. And really, it just goes back to the picks. Yeah, you can question the picks. Me, you know, not as much for me. That's not the impact point. For me, at least, as crazy as odd maybe as where the picks were, it just still goes back to the laning phase. Right. They could have still laned it a lot better. Like I said, you know, Electrician Amphora, Magnus, Aluna, and then have Yiftig on the Emerald Warden solo, you know, the top lane or something like that. You know, go the 2-2-1, take advantage of going against the solos. We do have a vote to concede here, though, it looks like, from Reason. So very likely, as the GGs have been called, we're going to see that pass through, and the game should officially be over. But, you know, just for Lion Zone, again, don't take any credit away from them. They played it very well themselves, and definitely deserving of a Game 1 victory. But Reason Gaming kind of keeping us on the edge here. If it's actually going to finish or not, I don't know. They're deciding. All right, there we go. So that will officially do it. Team Lion defeats Reason here in Game 1.